Hoodie gang. Oh shoot. What's going on, everybody? My name is Joey Nato, and I am an artist / music producer, and you are in for a treat today. For those who don't know, I also go by Lucky Boy. That's my producer name / nickname that I gave myself. Damn, what a cornball. Crypt actually asked me to produce the instrumental for YouTube Cypher Volume 1. If you haven't heard it, what are you doing? High Res, Vinjay, Chase, Crypt, Screw, Randolph. Yo, there were so many fire rappers on there that absolutely obliterated my beat. But I'm gonna show you guys how I made the beat. This is my first time doing a video like this, really, with the new camera and my old screen thing here. And if you want more videos like this or other songs that you know that I produce, if you wanna know how that was made and want more videos like this, let me know. That can be arranged. If you're on Instagram, follow me at LuckyBoyNato, and Twitter, LuckyBoyNato as well. I'll put it in the corner so that way you could give me a follow. Make sure to say what up, and I'll say what up back. It takes some time at this point, but I'm still gonna say what up back. All right, so let me show you how I made the beat for Crypt's YouTube Cypher Volume 1. Let's go. All right, so ignore the screen in the back where you see like the red line going across. That's just me just recording my voice. But we have Crypt Cypher beat here. I made it in Propellerhead Reason. Reason is the name of the software. Kind of stuck in my ways. This is Reason 5 that I'm using, and I'm pretty sure there's a Reason 10 or Reason 11 out. Anyways, let's talk about the first main obvious part about this beat. That's the piano. So Crypt told me that, you know, he wanted something kind of like Look Alive by Drake and Block Boy. Or another example he gave me was his own track, Warning. I already knew what Look Alive sounded like, and I've made a type beat for Look Alive in the past. And what I didn't like about that beat that I did in the past is it sounded way too much like Look Alive. So I was like, all right, this has to have its own type of bounce to it. He also said he wants people to be able to go off, like have bars, but also like be able to bounce along with the beat. When I heard that, I kind of knew the tempo that I wanted to go with it. Now this beat is 134 beats per minute, and I mean a rapper wouldn't really think of it as 134 beats per minute, or an engineer, producer, whatever. They would think of it more as whatever half of that is. So this is basically 67 beats per minute, which is always slow. That's like slow trap. That's like slow trap vibe, which I thought was dope for Crypt, because Crypt raps really fast. Usually fast rappers prefer slower beats because they just mesh better, because there's a fast flow. They could rap at twice the speed of the beat. All right, so the piano. What did I do? Oh, wait. Honestly, usually when I'm trying to make a beat, I just start playing around with any keys I can until I come up with something, and then I usually just try to just vibe with the beat. The beat's in my mind at this point, because there's no drums or anything at this point. So the piano goes first. Stop. So that's the main melody there. I wanted to give this beat a little bit of a twang to it, a little more character. So what I did when I went up an octave at those parts, I took the pitch bend and I like bent it down and I like dipped it. So without that, it would sound like this. Kind of plain Jane. So what I did is I put that little dip in the pitch. You can hear it. Like it just, and anytime there's like a dip like that, it just creates an illusion kind of that it's just a little bit more bouncy, that the song is just a little bit more bouncy. Then it goes up a whole nother octave again. Oh, sorry. Let's not put all that other stuff in there. So it kept going up different octaves, and it just helped create the whole transition effect. So that's the main piano sound. Does the piano roll in there too? Hear that? Alright, moving on here to the mean piano. pretty much the extent of that. It's just meant to just intensify the downbeat. The downbeat is the boom, boom, boom. That's the downbeat. That's all it's doing. So, because without it, it sounds kind of dry. But with that mean piano, see, now it just has more of a bounce to it. Apparently, chronologically, the next thing I put in was open hats. Open hats, an example of that type of sound is right here. So let's see what I did there. Okay, see, it has a little bounce to it. Not that part. Alright, so I can see why I did that. I mean, I was trying, you know, this is my first time producing for somebody of a caliber like Crypt and stuff, so I was like, I was probably just trying new things out. Then the snare, very, very basic. I love the snare sound I chose though. This is the snare drum. So I guess this is just called the name of the sound is Trap Snare. I forget what kit I got it from, but I EQ'd it a little bit. Took out all the low end out of there. Simple. Alright, underneath every other snare, I put this sound. You could barely hear it, but it just causes a little bit more like, I don't even know what it does. I just like it. it just makes the snare, I like reverb underneath my snares. And I believe that when artists say like their words, when there's like that little bit of reverb underneath the snare, just makes their voice sound a little bit better. That's just my opinion. Then I got this drum fill sound. So when it's transitioning, you hear this drum fill. Da, 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 da. I didn't play that. So what that comes from is a previously made loop. And it was originally this speed, but I just sped it up. So that way it just matches the tempo of the song. And then another loop, yes. Another loop, I do loops sometimes with like percussions or if I hear something cool, is this hi-hat loop. Now that was a big part of the bounce of the beat there. You're gonna hear me say the bounce a lot. It's because my boy Zach just drilled it into my head about making beats. And if your beat doesn't have the bounce, if your song doesn't have the bounce, then it's probably trash. Alright, so again, this is the original hi-hat loop. See, it's faster. The pitch is slightly higher. So I just made sure it matched the tempo. I took all the velocity out of the sound, meaning the sound doesn't, basically it means the sound doesn't hit as hard. It's not as harsh. Then one of my favorite parts about the beat from a producer nerd standpoint is the kick. I love this kick sound, and this is basically the raw sound that it comes in as. It was in something called the Food Kit, the 2017 folder in the Food Kit. I don't know, but I love it. It has so much like character, so much depth to it, and it just dumps. I don't know how to say it. Like, super important. Your snares gotta slap. And your kicks gotta snap. Then I got this low, these are the things that you don't really notice. This is a very low 808 that's in there. I put small 808 subby. It just causes a lot of bottom, just a little foundation for the bass line. Again, it's on the downbeat. So every time that mean piano comes in, it comes in, oh, not every time. If you look here, it's actually very spread out when it does come in during the beat. It's actually very seldom that it comes in over the course of a 10-minute beat, but yeah, so you can't really hear it with everything in there. Some sounds are meant to be heard, some sounds are meant to be felt. And a lot of times that's the case with low 808s. If you don't know what an 808 is, it's this thing you always hear in every single hip hop beat nowadays. But that's kind of a weird sounding 808. But all right, then I put in, of course, the 16th note hi-hats. You're gonna do something, chat, and they're just going throughout the whole thing just like that. I don't think they change at all. They just go through the whole song like that. Other things I have on the downbeat here, underneath that mean piano sound, is something I call the ghost string. I mean, it's a string with a bunch of reverb on it, EQ'd out all the bottom, all the low end sounds. These are things you really don't notice when you hear these beats. And it's just following the same melody as the mean piano. I think it's the same exact notes, probably. It just makes it sound, I don't know, it just sounds better to me than just a plain piano sound. Just having like a nice string underneath it just makes it more atmospheric. I know it's not an atmospheric type of beat, but alright. Probably the coolest part of the instrumental, the 808s. Now this 808 without distortion, I even put a limiter on it. Damn, I guess I was worried about it being too loud. Without distortion or the limiter on it, it sounds like this. Quiet, not a lot of character, not a lot of grit. But this is the Cypher, man. People are gonna be coming with the bars, so I threw on a couple distorters. And that way it's not too loud. I put a limiter on. A limiter is exactly what it sounds like. It limits the volume of whatever instrument you're working with. So if you put a limiter on the 808, it makes sure the volume doesn't go past a certain point, no matter what. And a lot of times if it's really trying to get past a certain point in volume, it'll squash it, and then it kind of takes away the character out of it. So you gotta be careful with how you use your limiters. But this is my favorite part of the 808 here. I think this is what made it sound really professional. Just that little rise in the pitch and then chop up and then drop. Then after that, man, it was just like cymbals and all these other different type of sounds. Started off with a soft crash cymbal. So those are two rise sounds there. One is like a siren sound, I guess, from a Johnny Giuliano kit. And then one is just kind of just a misty, steamy, rising type of rise effect. I love that. I love that type of rise effect sound. And I made sure that it cuts off right when the beat drops, because it kind of sounds messy if you leave the release on. If you left the release high on that, watch, if it doesn't cut off. This is if the sound doesn't cut off. Alright, hold on. It just keeps going. That's a long sound. So this is without the cutoff. Unnecessary, bro. Unnecessary. But I mean, that could be a powerful rise effect if you want like a really long dramatic rise in a beat. Not appropriate for this one. That's not appropriate. Yeah, and then I got like this little clunky, also from a Johnny Giuliano kit, this little clunky deep piano, like sounds like somebody just fell on the piano. It sounds like a mouse died on the piano. Then it just collapsed on it. So that's on the downbeat too, to just make it a little more impactful. Then I just got some extra hi-hat sounds. Dun, 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 dun. And this little click sound. Just little sounds like that really adds character to your beats when you have like those little type of percussion noises and whatnot. But yeah, then all together it sounds like this. Awake. This part too is when the beat drops out, or that main melody drops out. That da-na-na-na-na. You don't hear it. It gives you a break. You gotta give the ear a break sometimes, but then it comes back in. It's pretty catchy, not gonna lie, but yeah, that's pretty much how the beat was made for the YouTube Cypher. Let me know if you guys like this video. Let me know if you want more videos like this. For if you know my songs, then great. I mean, I can show you how I made beats for any of my songs pretty much, but just let me know. Again, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at LuckyBoyNato. And that's pretty much it, man. I don't got a cool outro line yet, so I'll just say I appreciate you guys. Nato.
Your stories didn't add up, and I'll never forget that you messed with my head. My pupils constricting, the circle is smaller, it's all of a sudden got me all depressed. Better yet, no, this was my choice. Priorities forcing me to be the voice on these songs, and I'm dishing them out. And do I go dummy? Bugs Bunny, of course. And sorry, I'm venting, I'm fresh off a lesson that you can't get hurt if you roll independent. I swear that this low go crazy pathetic.